what is a negligence lawyer? So negligence is breach of a legal duty causing an injury that wouldn't have otherwise occurred. So there's kind of four key pieces to negligence. You've got to have a duty, breach of the duty, and then that specific breach has to cause damages that would not have otherwise occurred. So let's take each piece of that. So the existence of a legal duty, that's often the easiest thing to establish. For example, in a car wreck case or a trucking accident case, drivers owe each other the duty of due care and reasonable care on the road. There's all sorts of rules that apply to you when you're driving your car, and you've got to look out for other drivers, for example. So drivers owe duties to each other. Sometimes in cases there's a dispute about the existence of a legal duty. I'll give you an example. Say there's a claim that somebody called 911 and the paramedics didn't get there in time, or the police didn't show up in time. Sometimes courts will say, unless there's some sort of specific promise that's made, 911 doesn't necessarily owe you a duty to get there on time. And that's a key litigated piece in those types of cases, the existence of a legal duty. Breach of the legal duty is often where a lot of the argument and disagreement in lawsuits occurs. So that's basically showing liability, right? Showing that somebody did something they shouldn't have or didn't do something they should have, breaching the standard of care. So simplest example, a driver who runs a red light would be breaching the standard of care. But you might have a dispute, right? Maybe both drivers claim that the light was yellow. And so now you've got to litigate breach of the standard of care. The next element is something called causation. So there's often a dispute about whether the alleged act of negligence, right, breaching the standard of care, caused the specific injuries in question. So often in car wreck cases, plaintiffs will claim all sorts of injuries, back injuries, shoulder injuries, and the defense will really delve into prior medical records to say, no, you already had this injury. We didn't cause this. This was part of your background medical history. So there's a dispute about that causation. The last piece is damages, which is usually pretty straightforward. That's the injuries that you suffered, medical bills, pain and suffering, lost wages, lost profits. But there can be some tricky things here. Let's stay again with the car wreck example. If you're claiming that you now are going to need some surgery in the future, well, you can't just say you might need it or you could need it. You're going to need a doctor to prove to a reasonable degree of medical certainty that you really will require that surgery. So there's sort of an added layer of proof sometimes in the damages inquiry. And another piece that might be difficult to prove often is sometimes people will claim lost profits, lost wages, lost profits. If you're claiming that you got injured and you couldn't work and you got this great business and you couldn't make the profits that you were going to make, that is going to require documentary evidence, accounting proof to show for sure you were going to make these profits. You've got a base of sales and sales history, profit history to establish your damages. So that's kind of an overview of what negligence is, what a negligence lawyer does, some of the issues that we litigate. Hope it's been helpful. Comment down below if you've got any questions, and thanks for watching.